Sometimes the way an artist paints something simple, like a piece of fruit, implies a whole world. This is known as synecdoche, where a part stands for the whole. Towards the end of his short life, Juan van der Hamen painted a number of very simple still lifes, a single plate of fruit, which are nevertheless profound reflections on the nature of the world and the place of humans within it. And this is a big claim to make for what are quite humble paintings. Not everyone will respond to them in this way. So are there any formal means we can identify that van der Hamen uses to guide the viewer to think about these paintings metaphysically? First of all, there is no sense of anything beyond the painting. The scene is entirely contained. This is quite unlike the way many Dutch painters approached still life. In Peter Claes's breakfast scene, the edges of the canvas slice through various objects. The bread roll and the plate on the left, the tablecloth and the lemon peel along the bottom, and the watch chain and jug handle on the right. These objects continue beyond the edges of the canvas, and the painting therefore presents itself as an excerpt from a larger scene. But van der Hamen's painting doesn't encourage its viewers to think about anything beyond the canvas edge. That world is irrelevant. Everything you need is here. The scene is complete. And even within the painting, there isn't very much reality beyond the plate and the fruit. A wall and a shelf are indicated, but they lack all character or individuality. There are no chips or veins or blemishes in the stone shelf, no cracks or damp patches on the wall. They have nothing that catches the light. In his earlier, more elaborate compositions, there were always little chips in the stone shelves. They don't compete with the objects on top, but there's just enough to remind the viewer that they too have material qualities. Not so with the plate of cherries and plums. Also, there is no hint of human presence in van der Hamen's painting. Someone obviously must have put the cherries and plums on the plate, but this action is finished. The painting has no interest in it. Once again, this is in complete contrast with the Claes, where the tablecloth is rumpled, the bread has been sliced and crumbed, the pie broken open, the lemon peeled and sliced, the nuts shelled, the watch case opened. Everything you look at shows the trace of human intervention. But in the van der Hamen, nothing. The fruit is untouched. It is presented more as something to look at than as something to eat. There is no narrative in van der Hamen's painting, no sense of a before and after. Again, so different from the Claes, where every object you look at reminds you that a few moments ago it all looked quite different. And as you look at the remains of the meal, you know that before too long someone will come and clear it all away. Although there's no particular story being told, the notion of before and after is woven through and through the painting. We are shown a moment that belongs in a sequence. But with van der Hamen, there is no sequence. As far as possible, he has removed the plate of plums and cherries from the conventions of linear time. The painting also avoids symbolism. Compare it with this picture by Zurbarán, in other ways quite similar. Zurbarán's picture shows just one thing, a lamb tied up to be sold at market. But his painting is entitled Agnus Dei, the Lamb of God, and as soon as you read that title, the whole painting changes. It may show a lamb, but it's actually about Jesus and sacrifice. The lamb which we can see stands for a spiritual belief which is invisible. But van der Hamen does not do this. His plums and cherries remain plums and cherries. They're no less miraculous for that, but they do not stand, so far as I'm aware, for anything else. They are completely and purely themselves. The painting uses these formal means to centre and concentrate the viewer's attention entirely on the plate of fruit. It avoids narrative, it avoids symbolism, it avoids appetite. And this is the key. The painting guides the viewer away from all the normal forms of explanation, while increasing the intensity with which the fruit is seen. As you continue to look at the painting, microcosm becomes macrocosm, the way a galaxy can sometimes appear in the swirl of foam on a cup of coffee. The painting doesn't make scientific or objective claims about the universe. Instead, it seeks to inculcate in its viewers an attitude towards the visible world. The world it shows us is whole and complete. The cherries and plums themselves are perfect, without spot or blemish, and without any flies or caterpillars crawling over them, as you would find in a Dutch still life. The world, says the painting, is good. The fruits the paintings show us, whether cherries, plums, pears or pomegranates, are sweet. The world promises pleasure. Finally, the fruits are presented on a plate, which would allow them to be offered to someone. The world is a gift. And this is an astonishing lesson from a simple picture of some cherries and plums on a plate. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe, and visit my channel Think of a Picture, where you'll find lots more short, thought-provoking videos on art like this. Thank you.